Sacandaga Outdoor Center. We're really excited that you chose to go rafting, tubing, or kayaking with us today. Before we go onto the water, we're going to share some information with you so that you can be safe and have a lot of fun. So if today you find that you are outside of your craft, whether it be a raft, tube, or kayak, and you're swimming in the rapids, you'll want to assume the whitewater swimmer's position. And the whitewater swimmer's position will be on your back, face up, breathing the air, and your feet ahead of you, so that if you come in contact with any rocks, you can push away with your feet. Let's talk about the most dangerous thing that could happen today, and that is standing on the bottom of the river. The reason for that is the bottom of the river is really big rocks, little rocks, and all shapes and sizes in between. And when you stack those different sizes together, there ends up being tight gaps between the rocks. Now the water is flowing at 4,000 cubic feet per second, and a cubic foot is slightly larger than a basketball. So imagine 4,000 basketballs filled with water coming out of that dam. That's a whole lot of water and a whole lot of water pressure. So if you feel the rocks underneath you, people think, well, okay, I'll just stand up. If you stand up, there's a really good chance you're gonna put your foot into one of those gaps between the rocks and it'll get stuck. And since you're stuck, the water could push against you and create a very dangerous situation. All right, so the best way to go down the river today is going to be in our craft, whether it's the raft, the tube, or the kayak. But there is a possibility that you could fall out of your craft and be in the water. Ideally, we're going to want to get you back to your craft. The best way is what we call a self-recovery, which means you are going to swim back to your craft so that we can get you back in it as soon as possible. The second way would be if you are in a raft and you have other people who like you, they might want to help you out. And the people that are near you in the raft could potentially extend you a T-grip so that you have something to hold on to and pull you back towards the raft. And as a last-ditch effort, if all else fails, the guide may try to assist you with one of our throw bags. You will want to grab onto the yellow line and hold it tight to your chest so the guide can haul you back in. While we're going to have a whole lot of fun in our craft, whether it be a raft, tube, or kayak today, we will have an opportunity to go for a swim in a calm water section, which your guide will let you know when it's safe to do so. So the first thing you're going to watch out for when you're out swimming is strainers. Now strainers happen to be tree branches that hang into the water from shore. Strainers are very dangerous because the water can go through the leaves and the branches, but you as a swimmer cannot. So you can get stuck in the strainer and the water could push you into the strainer and keep you there. The second thing you're going to want to watch out for is how you enter the water from your craft. Because the swim section is still quick moving water and it is not very deep. So when you enter the water, you're going to want to swing your legs over the side of the raft and slide in like you're going in on a water slide. Because if you were to jump or dive, there's a really good chance you're going to hit the bottom. Now let's learn how to sit so we can paddle our raft. In order to reach on the outside of the boat and get a really strong paddle stroke, you're going to need to sit on the outside tube of the raft. But then in order to stay in the raft, you're going to want to lock yourself in, and that requires you to take your forward foot and you're going to tuck it underneath the thwart, which is the small center tube in front of you. And you're going to put your rear foot, tuck that heel into the thwart right where you're sitting, and you'll be able to stay in the boat. Even if you lose your balance to the outside, there's a really good chance you're going to stay in the boat as long as your foot stays tucked underneath the thwart. For the duration of your trip today, you're going to need to be wearing one of these, which we call a PFD, which stands for Personal Flotation Device. Now this one is a Type 5 PFD, which means it was specifically designed for whitewater rivers, and we'll explain some of the features here as we go. But let's get started. Go ahead and put this on like you're wearing a vest. Now if you buckle it up, turn around and face me. So this personal flotation device has 4 buckles on it. You want to make sure that they stay fastened the entire time. And then it has some adjustments here so we can fit each individual personally. So you'll notice that one of the features of this PFD is that it has more flotation in the front than it does in the back. This particular feature will allow you to float on your back face up out of the water if you find yourself out of your craft. Now in that position, the pillow will come up behind you to help protect your head and neck. So we're gonna have a lot of excitement today out on the water with the waves and the rapids. However, there's also a really fun part where it gets flat, where we'll have an opportunity for a water fight between the boats. And to make sure we have as much fun as possible, we're gonna give each of you some Sacandaga outdoor cannons to play with out on the water. Now these are pretty powerful, so you're gonna wanna make sure you aim for the vest or up high in the sky. Because if you shoot somebody right in the face, it hurts the eyes, the ears, the nose, and the mouth. So next thing we're going to talk about is how to maneuver our raft. And that requires one of these bad boys right here, a paddle. That's right. Now a paddle has three parts. There's a blade down here that goes down into the water, the shaft that connects to the other end, our T-grip. Now you'll want to cover the T-grip up at all times because if you let it go, there's a really good chance it can swing around the raft and hit somebody else in the face. Not a good day, all right? So in order to avoid that, you're going to put your thumb underneath the T-grip and wrap your four fingers over the top. Your other hand is going to be placed down close to the blade. If it's way up top, there's no leverage and the boat's not going to go anywhere. So a wide grip helps us out.
All forward.
Then, in order for our craft to move around, your guide is going to call out some paddling commands. There are 4 of them. The first one is going to be all forward. You'll reach your blade ahead of you, place the blade into the water, pull really hard, and the boat is going to go forward. You'll also have all back. Very similar, the blade goes into the water behind you, you push it to the front, we'll go in reverse. Then your personal favorite is going to be relax. You'll pull the blade up out of the water and place it on your lap. That way the blade does not steer the boat into something we don't want to go into, and you'll enjoy the ride.
All right, lean in.
And then lastly, if the boat is moving into an obstacle that could knock somebody out, your guide will call lean in, and you'll move your upper body in towards the middle of the raft, which makes us much more stable and less likely that someone's gonna fall out.